Hi and welcome to this video series on GMAT test preparation for your quantitative reasoning section, and today's topic will be distance and rate. We will be looking at some problem solving questions of the topic distance and rate for today. Let's begin. So, the first question here says a boat travelled upstream 90 miles at an average speed of v minus 3 miles per hour and then travelled at the same distance downstream at an average speed of v plus 3 miles per hour. If the trip upstream took a half an hour longer than the trip downstream, then how many hours did it take the boat to travel downstream? So, when it's going upstream, you know that the distance is 90 miles and the average speed is for v minus 3 miles per hour. So, the time will be total distance, that is 90 divided by v minus 3, and when you are going downstream, we know that the distance is the same, that is 90 divided by the speed, that is v plus 3. So, they are telling us the time difference between these two is it took half an hour longer for the trip upstream than the trip downstream. Okay. So, the time taken for upstream is half an hour longer than trip downstream, or you can say half is equals to time upstream minus time downstream, which means that half is equals to 90 by v minus 3 minus 90 by v plus 3, which is equals to v minus 3 into v plus 3. Taking 90 out as common, you will have v plus 3 minus v minus 3, which is equals to 6, which is equals to 90 into 6 divided by v square minus 9, which is equals to half. Therefore, v square minus 9 is equals to 90 into 6 into 2. Therefore, which implies v square is equals to 90 into 6 into 2. Minus 9 goes this side and you have plus 9. Taking 9 common, you have 10 into 6 into 2 is 12. So, 10 into 12 plus 1, which is 9 into 121. 10 into 12 is 120 plus 1 is 121. V square is equals to 9 into 121. Therefore, V is equals to 3 into 11, which is equals to 33. So, it's asking us, the question is asking us how many hours did the boat travel downstream. That is, time downstream will be equals to 90 divided by v plus 3, that is 90 divided by 33 plus 3 is 36. You have 9 tens are 90, 9 fours are 36, which is equals to 2.5. 10 by 4 is equals to 2.5. 2.5 is the amount of time. That is, answer is option A. Let's look at the next question now. Family drove from a home to a vacation destination 100 miles away, driving the first half of the distance at a constant speed of 50 miles per hour and the second half of the distance at a constant speed of 20 miles per hour. Returning home by the same route, they travelled at a constant speed of 30 miles per hour for the whole trip. What is the number of hours it took to drive from home to the vacation destination? So, the question is telling us that the first half of the distance was at a speed of 50 miles per hour. So, first half will be 50 miles. First 50 miles at 50 miles per hour, and the second half, that will be again 50 miles, second 50 miles is at 20 miles per hour. So, they travelled at a constant speed, while returning they travelled at 30 miles per hour. So, time taken to cover the first half will be equal to the distance, total distance divided by the speed at which it was travelling. So, 50 divided by 50 miles per hour, we will get time comes out to be 1 hour, and the second part of the trip is covered by 50 miles in 20 miles per hour. So, it comes out to be 2.5. So, the total time that it took to drive from home to the destination, to the vacation, will be equals to 1 plus 2.5, that is equals to 3.5. So, the answer comes out to be option D. It took 3.5 hours to reach the destination from the home. Let's look at the next question now. With an average speed of 40 kilometers per hour, a train reaches its destination on time. If it goes with an average speed of 35 kilometers per hour, it reaches late by 15 minutes. What is the length of the journey? Let's say the length of the journey is equals to L. So, the time taken for it when it is at an average speed of 40 kilometers per hour, when it is at the rate of 40 kilometers per hour, the average speed, that is 40 kilometers per hour, the time comes out to be L divided by 40. Whereas, when it is at a speed of 35 kilometers per hour, the time that it will take will be equals to L by 35, and it is given that if it travels at 35 kilometers per hour, the time taken will be 15 minutes more, that is 15 by 60 hours more than when it takes when the train is travelling at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So, we can say that L by 35 is equals to 15 by 60 plus L by 40. 15 by 60 is equals to L by 35 minus L by 40. LCM is 5 into 7 into 8. You have 8 minus 7, you will come out to be 1 L. Therefore, L is equals to 15 by 60 into 5 into 7 into 8. It's 5 12s are, 3 5s are, 3 4s are, and 4 2s are. L length comes out to be 5 into 7 into 2, it comes out to be 70. The length of the train comes out to be 70 kilometers, which is answer is option C. Let's see the next question now. A man cycling along the road noticed that every 12 minutes a bus overtakes him, and every 4 minutes he meets an oncoming bus. If all buses and the cyclists move at a constant speed, what is the time interval between consecutive buses? Assume that buses all travel at the same constant speed and are equally spaced out, and that the cyclist travels at different constant speed, So, let us say the speed of the man is equals to m, and the speed of the bus is equals to b. The man that is a cyclist, so let us say its speed is m. If all buses and cyclists move at a constant speed, what is the interval between the consecutive buses? And let us say that distance between consecutive buses is equals to d. So, when you are talking about the buses which are overtaking him, that means that the man, the cyclist, and the buses are in the same direction. Therefore, the relative speed will be, for overtake, will be equals to speed of the bus minus the speed of the man for overtake. This is when they are overtaking. So, it is given that every 12 minutes a bus overtakes. So, this distance that is there between each bus is the distance that needs to be covered in 12 minutes. So, the distance will be, so the time will be the distance d divided by b minus m is equals to 12 minutes. Whereas, if he is taking the relative speed when he is seeing a bus coming from the opposite direction, that is an oncoming bus, here the relative speed will be b plus m for the oncoming buses to meet. Hence, the time will be the same thing, it will be the total distance d divided by the speed, that is b plus m is equals to 4. From your, this is one equation and this is second equation. From equation number 1, we can say d is equals to 12b minus 12m, and from equation number 2, we can say d is equals to 4b plus 4m. Equating these two, since they are both equal to d, you will have 12b minus 12m is equals to 4b plus 4m, which means that 8b is equals to 16m, which means that b is equals to 2 times m. So, now we can substitute this value here and get that d is equals to 12b minus 12 into m is nothing but b by 2. Since b is equals to 2m, m will be b by 2. This will come out to be 12b minus 6b equal to 6b. and the question is asking us what is the time interval between consecutive buses. When it is consecutive buses, the distance is d divided by the speed is b. This will be the time interval between consecutive buses, which is equals to d divided by d is nothing but 6 times b divided by b, that's b gets cancelled, it is equals to 6. The time interval is 6 minutes. So, the answer is option B. Let us move to the next question now. Mrs. Jordan visited a certain city. She travelled the entire distance at an average speed of 45 kilometers per hour. If 2/3 of the total distance was travelled at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour, what is the average speed for the remaining distance? Okay. So, the entire distance covered at the average speed of 45 kilometers per hour. So, the average speed is equals to total distance divided by the time taken. So, this is given as 45. So, the time taken for the journey is equals to total distance, let us say the total distance is equals to d divided by 45. It is given that 2/3 of the total distance, that is 2/3 of d, was travelled at the speed of 50 kilometers per hour. So, the time here taken will be equals to 2/3 of d divided by 50. Now, they are asking what is the average speed for the remaining distance. For the remaining distance, 1/3 at d, we do not know what is the speed. So, the time for this 1/3 will be t dash t1 and this is t2 will be equals to 1/3 of d divided by the speed s. We know the total time and we know that it was covered in 2 different speeds. So, t1 plus t2 will be equal to t. So, t is d by 45, which is the first part, first 2/3 will be covered at speed of 50, 2/3 into d by 50 plus 1/3 into d by some s. We do not know the speed s. D gets cancelled in the numerators. We can say that 1/3 s is equals to 1 by 45 minus 2 into 25, that is 1 by 75, which is equals to LCM comes out to be 25 into 3 into 3. So, that will be 9 into 5 into 5 minus 25 into 3 into 3, that is 1 by 3 s. 3 gets cancelled. S will be equals to 25 into 3 divided by 2, which is equals to 25 into 3 is 75 divided by 2 will be equals to 37.5 kilometers per hour. That is, answer is option C. Let us look at the next question now. Timothy leaves home for school riding his bicycle at the rate of 9 miles per hour. 15 minutes after he leaves, his mother sees Timothy's math homeworks lying on his bed and immediately leaves home to bring it to him. If his mother drives at 36 miles per hour, how far in terms of miles must she drive before she reaches Timothy? So, Timothy is riding his bicycle and 15 minutes later his mother is starting in the car at 56 miles per hour. So, the total distance that Timothy covered in this time, this 15 minutes plus the time that it will take his mother to reach him, the total distance covered in this much time will be the same as time for Timothy, will be the same as time for mom, will be the same as the distance that his mom has to cover in the limited time t, that is in how many minutes she reaches him. So, we can say that 15 plus t, Timothy is the time taken, it will be the total distance divided by his speed, which is 9 miles per hour. Distance is d divided by 36 miles per hour. So, 15 plus substituting t from that equation to this equation plus d by 36 is equals to d by 9. So, 15 minutes needs to be converted into hours. Since the speed is in miles per hour, so it will be 15 by 60. 15 by 60 is equals to d by 9 minus d by 36, which is equals to 36 divided by 9 4s are minus 3 d by 96, that is 12, and 12 5s are 60 and 5 3s are, therefore, D is equals to 3. 3 is the number of miles she must drive before she can reach Timothy. Answer is option B. Let's look at the next question now. Tom and John travelled in the same direction along the equal route at their constant speeds rates of 15 km per hour and 10 km per hour respectively. After 15 minutes, Tom passes John. Tom reaches a certain gas station. How many minutes it takes John to reach the station? Tom and John are travelling at constant rates, and Tom passes John. So, Tom reaches a certain gas station, and how many minutes it takes John to reach the station. So, since they are travelling in the same direction, the relative speed will be equal to 15 minus 10, that is equals to 5 kilometers per hour. And after 15 minutes, Tom passes John. So, since Tom is passing John, the distance that is covered, we need to check that distance that is covered in this 5 into 15 by 60, that is 5 12s are 3 4s are 3 5s are is equals to 5 by 4. Now what? Now Tom is passing John, so how much time it will take John to reach the station? The speed of John is equals to 10 kilometers per hour, and the distance he needs to cover is 5 by 4. Therefore, time is equals to distance, that is 5 by 4 divided by the speed, that is 1 by 10. We need to check it out in minutes. The answer option is minutes. So, you multiply this by 60 to get this as 2 3s are 15 by 2, which is equals to 7.5 minutes. The answer is option C. It takes him 7.5 minutes. Let us look at the next question now. A train 150 meter long is running at a rate of 30 meters per second, while what time will it take to cross a man walking in the opposite direction at the speed of 5 meters per second? Since that in opposite directions, the relative speed will be equals to sum of their speeds, that is 30 plus 5, that is equals to 35 meters per second, and the total distance will be equal nothing but the length of the train, that is 150 meters. Therefore, we need to find the time taken, which is equals to the total distance 150 divided by the speed, that is 35. 5 7s are 5 3s are 15 0, which is equals to 30 by 7, which is 7 4s are 28 into plus 2 by 7, 4 2 by 7 seconds. This is the amount of time taken, which is answer is option B. So, those were some sample questions on distance and rate. Hope you understood all of them. Thank you for watching.